Good evening. This is Royal with Talksville Central RTV style. And if you notice, there was no music. Tonight we are celebrating Memorial Day, the Memorial Day show. And we did one of these a year ago. And here we are again. We want to honor all our fallen heroes that have fallen, that have been put to death in the different wars that America has been a part of. Our heroes are what has made our nations great. And tonight I have a couple of heroes here with us, and I have a group, three sisters that are going to sing for us the Star Spangled Banner. And I may have a couple of other guests popping in. Again, this is to honor the fallen soldiers. And with that, I'm going to bring in my guests. Hello, Steve, Alfred, Noah, and I'm going to bring in the girls now. Hold on, girls, don't sing yet. So let's just you know what? Say a little bit of what Memorial Day means to you. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first, sir.
Go ahead.
By all means. Okay. Well, first things first, I just really want to say that I am honored to be here on your show tonight. It really is a pleasure. Memorial Day is something that's really important to me, especially growing up in a generation where the military was really respected. And I always viewed the heroes that have given their life for this country. They've given the ultimate sacrifice in order to protect our freedoms and really make the United States what it is today. By all means, what really makes it very special in my heart is the fact that my grandfather actually served in the Navy during World War II. And there were 6 of his buddies that ended up giving their lives for him so he could come back home. And that really sticks with me to this day, that if that never had happened, then he would not be here today, which unfortunately he did pass away in 1999, but he would have never have been able to live on and have his kids, have my mother. Really.
Yeah. Wow. Sad stories and of our heroes, and they inspired us to keep going. And wow, it's just, you know, Alfred Smith, can you add something to that?
Yes, sir, I can. First and foremost, I'd like to say it is an honor to be here on your show. But for me, what Memorial Day means to me is it's emotional. It's an emotional time. Just for me, first off, I seen people like when I was in Afghanistan, and we had 13 people who risked their life, who sacrificed their life, and it was just a different type of experience for me because, for one, I never been in a kind of situation for my life. So to go through that, to see that, and understand that they was family members as well. There was brothers and sisters, and just to go through something like that, it hurt me. It hurt me more than anything. It's very emotional. Like, I get teary-eyed just thinking about it. What happened, and for me, Memorial Day is just something more than just emotional. It's just like it's pain because they gave their all just for us to have the freedoms that we have. So it's I can't thank them enough for what they did. So that's what it means to me.
Wow. Well, girls, any of you want to give me what? I know you're young and all of that, but what do the kids think Memorial Day is about?
Well, also, we're just grateful to be here, and we're just really grateful for all our freedoms and for all the people that have sacrificed for the freedoms that we have. So we're just really grateful.
Well, great. Give us your names.
I'm Kat.
I'm Presley. And I'm Josie.
All right. So the 3 of you will sing the Star Spangled Banner for us. Can you go ahead and do that for us now?
Yes, sir. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for coming to the show and, singing this beautiful song. And, man, it's awesome. And I was, I had to put my hand on my heart, and I noticed, Noah, you had it as well. I noticed, Alfred, your eyes, every time I hear the Pledge of Allegiance, the national anthem, I don't know, there's a certain feeling in my heart. And I was never in the military, and I feel this way. I can only imagine how you feel every time the Star Spangled Banner is played. And wow, girls, thank you. Let me bring somebody else, and here comes Vangela. Vangela, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. So, hold on, let me bring.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, man.
Good evening, ma'am.
Let me go to that one. Or you know what? All right. So, Vangela, tell us what Memorial Day means to you.
So Memorial Day is a day of remembering our fallen soldiers. I know that some people tend to say Happy Memorial Day, but others say, well, it's not really happy because we're honoring those who sacrificed their lives so that we can have the freedom that we have. And so we're grateful for that because I love this country that we live in, where we do have our freedoms. And thank you to all of you all that have served as well.
Well, thank you for your support, man.
Thank you, ma'am.
Great. Let me show some pictures here, and let's see. And some we will talk about in detail a little later, and some we're just going to see. Here we go. This one, for instance, we see a lot of this. Two friends, or even not two friends, side by side. Buddy goes down, gets hurt, and you got to carry him out. A lot of times, you even in movies, sometimes you see where two friends go and they say, "I'll take care of you." "Oh no, I'll take care of you," and one of them winds up taking care of the other one. I'm sure, you've heard stories like this where this has happened, and just kind of be thinking about it. You can tell me in a little bit. Let me keep going to the next one here. We're gonna talk about this picture in a little bit. Again, we're gonna talk about that picture. Action. I mean, not we see it in the movies, but when you live it, it's completely different. It's there is firepower going left and right, and you don't know what's going to happen. And again, I salute all the soldiers that are now present in involved in protecting us, protecting our great nation, and especially all those that have fallen to a bullet or a bomb and did not make it back. Here we see some soldiers that we see this type of ceremony every once in a while. Again, that's part of the cross, the soldiers' cross there, and they're in reverence. Their, I guess, ceremony is they didn't make it back, or just some pictures. It's not what we see in the movies, guys. And these pictures don't make justice to the areas where they've been. Here, Vietnam, 550,000 troops of Vietnam front at the height of the conflict suffered more than 58,000 casualties engaged in the battle after the battle with communist forces in the region until its withdrawal in 1973. I mean, this war took a while. There's been men in all branches of armed forces that have been a part of defending the great flag, our great country, and our way of life, and we thank you all. When I put those pictures up there, especially you gentlemen in part of the Marines, go Marines, right? What does it make you think of, or what comes to heart? Alfred, how does that,
That first picture that you posted of the soldiers in arm carrying his buddy, I saw that picture. It hit me differently, only because the simple fact it's that guardian angel.
Wow.
That's somebody who's looking out for you, who's on the left and the right of you, who's not going to let you go down. He's going to bring you with him. You're not leaving him. He's not leaving you by yourself. He's taking you with you. So when I see that picture, I think of a guardian angel. I think of that person who's going to be there with me to the end. That's not going to leave me.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, wow. Noah?
Yes, sir. So just to say off what Sergeant Smith said, he made a very good point. The first thing that pops into my mind when I see those pictures is brotherhood, and having those other Marines, or some cases soldiers, sailors, airmen, that are going to have your back until the end, regardless of the situation you're in. It reminds me that when you are down in a bad situation, it doesn't necessarily have to be combat. That the Marines, in my case, to the left and to the right of me, are all I have, and they are my brothers, and they are going to protect me. And, no matter what it takes, they're going to have my back, always support me. That's something that really resonates in my heart, because it's a great deal of why I joined the Marine Corps. Really just that brother or guardian angel that I never felt as a.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Angela, what comes to mind when seeing those pictures, Angela?
Well, my husband serves currently. He's been in 14 years. And so when he deployed to Afghanistan, there was a sense of comfort knowing that his brothers, that are there with him in the unit would watch out for him. They do have each other's backs, regardless of what happens, the camaraderie that's there. They play a lot of, around a lot, and a lot of jokes and laughter and so forth. But You know, when somebody's life is lost, it's painful for them. It's just like their own family member has passed. That's how close these guys get. So you know, seeing that and knowing that so many soldiers have given the ultimate sacrifice so that we can have the freedom that we have, you know, you know, you're not ever happy about somebody passing away, but you know, it's a sacrifice and we're grateful for it. And that's what all I can say. We're grateful for that.
Yeah. Here Raul is saying, you know, we are most grateful, and we will never forget. And that's true. Uh, I mean, you know, somebody, you know, does something awesome for you, you're going to remember them for forever. But to give their lives for you, I mean, you know that they're going into a battle. You know, I mean, and sometimes they go into battles where the odds are against them, but they need to make that next stand. I'm thinking maybe D-Day, and they're just coming out of the boats, and some of them, that was the last time that they were with their buddies, because the moment they hit shore, man, bullets were coming at them. But that was the price of freedom, and every inch they gained, every foot they gained, every yard they gained, they were bringing freedom. Our freedom was surviving with every step that they were taking, and you know, wow, it just means so much, because America is beautiful. America is great, and you know, um, in a little bit we'll be reading some names of some fallen soldiers. Normally we have a little bit more comments, but I think a lot of times in shows like this, people are just watching, and that sometimes they might be in awe, because I guess sometimes people just don't realize, because they're thinking barbecue, they're thinking fireworks, that kind of deal, and they don't know, or they don't remember, or they don't want to think about it, that this is a special time of reverence. This is a special time to remember, our heroes. Girls, I know you're on the young side, but would you like to add anything for this?
I really can't imagine what it would be like to be there with, your friends and trying to save them and trying to save yourself. Just it's really amazing how the sacrifice, and it's crazy, really.
Cool.
Really grateful.
The girls can. I had told the girls to maybe have 2 songs ready, and we were probably going to do only the Star Spangled Banner. But I think "America the Beautiful" would be appropriate to be sung right now. Can you sing that for us, girls?
Yes, sir. Oh, beautiful, for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful, for heroes prove in liberating strife, who more than self their country loved, and mercy more than life. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Wow. Thank you, girls. And crown thy hood with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. And the armed forces, the soldiers, the Marines, you name it, they there's brotherhood there. And Vantala, you talked about it. Alfred, you spoke about it. Noah, you said that brotherhood, and you know, it's what I know. Brotherhood from sea to shining sea. The song's telling us that we need to get along, America. Our soldiers are doing their job. They're out there. They're sacrificing themselves. We need to be more loving towards each other because too many soldiers are being sacrificed for our freedom, and we are not appreciated of the freedom we have. So I beg you, respect our flag, respect our soldiers, respect the freedom. Be thankful for the freedom and know where it comes from. It comes from the fallen soldiers that have paid the ultimate price. And wow. Noah, you want to add anything?
I think you hit the nail on the head, sir, completely. Just in general with Memorial Day, I feel like it's something that needs to be continued on. I feel it's very important for generation, especially to remember why we have the country we have. At the end of the day, if it weren't for these people sacrificing their lives and protecting our country, we would not have a United States today. I think that's something a lot of people do not realize at all, unfortunately. And that needs to be known throughout time, because I see it fading more and more each day. As you said, a lot of people are having barbecues right now. They don't even know why they're celebrating it, and I feel like it's something that we need to bring awareness to completely.
And it's because of people like yourself, Noah, people like yourself, Alfred, and and all those in the past that have, 19-year-olds, 18-year-olds, that gave their futures, husbands that went to battle and left kids that they never saw, wives that they never came back to hug and kiss, dads that did not come back to hug their children. The list, you can just keep going and keep going and keep going. And wow. Yes. Thanks, Janie. They were indeed very beautiful voices. Vangela, anything you want to add to that?
I just want to know if either of you, Alfred or Noah, if either of you have anybody in particular that you are remembering on this day.
I am, ma'am. I do have 13 people who gave their lives in Afghanistan last year. Very heavily on my mind today, especially with it happening with me being in the Marine Corps. It really did strike home, because it didn't matter if I knew those people personally or not. At the end of the day, they are our fellow brothers and sisters. And I feel for them, I feel for their families. I lost. So, one other thing, and I mentioned this earlier, that is on my mind today is 6 men that gave their lives for my grandfather when he served in World War II. If they did not protect him, then he would not have had my mother. He would have not have been there to experience life. I would not be here right now.
Wow.
And that really does hit.
Yeah. Alfred,
Yes, sir.
anything you want to add?
No, same thing. The 13 in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems to be the thing right now. I feel like our country as a whole, we didn't really pay our respects to those 13 that lost their lives like we should have. I felt like it was mentioned, and there's only a few media stations out there that are really even, remembering them. Obviously we are, and, their fellow brothers in arms are as well. But it's definitely something that, we remember not just on Memorial Day, but every day.
Yes. Wow. I wanted to show you that picture again. Hold on, let me see here. Well, before we go that, Noah, can you give us a little history of Memorial Day?
Yes, absolutely,
When
sir.
did it start and all of that?
So Memorial Day originally wasn't even called Memorial Day. It was called Decoration Day. It actually started during the Civil War by a general that was serving. It was a time when you would actually put flowers in the ground of the graves of people who had given their lives during the Civil War. I believe it was New York that actually was the first state to really recognize it. So this was in this carried on all the way until 1971 when people started remembering the heroes that fell during World War II, World War I, and Vietnam. And then in 1971, it was recognized as a national holiday, Memorial Day, for everyone to take a day off and remember their lives for free.
Wow. Cool. All right. Let me show you a picture, and this is the soldiers or the fallen soldiers battle cross. And let me put me down here so we can see you guys. Let's see who else is here. Anyway, the battle cross. Let me see. Let me have Vantala. Would you mind reading this?
Let's see, is it coming up? Okay, the battle cross is a symbolic replacement of a cross on the battlefield.
Okay. In other words, you can see the cross kind of forming right there, right?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Keep going, Vantala.
Okay, it's coming up slow on my end here.
That's cool.
The rifle is thrust in the ground, signifying that the soldier died in battle, fighting to the end.
Keep going.
Yeah, give me a second. It takes a second to load over here. Says the boots carry a soldier through the fight for freedom and are placed at the base of the rifle. They are worn and dirty to remind us of that final march.
Near the boots.
Dog tags are worn by every service member and are imprinted with information about the individual soldier. The dog tags are hung from the rifle so that the name of the fallen will never be forgotten. The helmet is placed on top of the rifle, representing what that person stood for and that the battle is over.
Amen. Um, that is like the cross at a cemetery for a lot of servicemen. Uh, Alfred, do you want to give us a little bit about this particular picture or what it means to you, or if you've seen it, like in real action in life?
When I see this picture, or when I ever seen it in person, what it means to me, I just lost someone, a brother, a sister. Somebody lost their daughter, their son. So when I look at it, it's one of the things where it's like America is hurting right now. We just lost somebody that's very important to somebody, important to me, important to their parents, important to their grandparents, important to their sisters. It's important. Somebody just lost somebody very special, somebody who means a lot to this world, who means a lot to America.
Noah?
When I see it, I think it's somebody who gave it their all, their 100%. It really does hit home because we actually had a Navy corpsman who passed away. It wasn't in combat, but we did have a vigil for him, and they did this as part of the ceremony. And when I look at the helmet, it makes me realize it. You guys saw it in the text that the battle is over, but the battle is really over for them. They gave it their all. They gave every bit of courage, honor that they had for their country, for their fellow brothers. That really, really resonates in my heart.
Angela?
Yeah, so in doing a little bit of research on it, the battle cross is believed to have appeared first during the Civil War, and it was to mark the body of a dead soldier so that later on that body could be gathered up and taken for burial. This was and then in World War I and World War II, that's when the rifle was pointed down at the helmet and placed in the stock, and it also was a marker but also a memorial. And then later on it was just a way for camaraderies to find closure to their fallen soldiers, and then it became a symbol of an iconic symbol of sacrifice, honor, and respect for the fallen soldiers. I can see how somebody that has lost a fellow brother in arms might see this and get sentimental, just knowing what the significance of that is, especially knowing that they've lost somebody. I can't imagine, like those soldiers in that picture, I can't imagine what they're feeling, and then every time they come upon that, whether it be a picture or a bronze statue or something, I can't imagine the feelings that all must come back to them.
Yeah, and looking at that picture, there's 7 soldiers that were killed in that battle, and I can't imagine losing one person. I mean, you lose one person and you feel terrible, you feel down, you feel destroyed. Imagine 7 of your closest, friends and buddies and brothers in arms, because as you both have mentioned, that's what it is. You guys are, you got each other's back, and 7 casualties here. I mean, man, it's like.
And what's weird is it's, or not weird, but it's just unique how we may have never met each other, but when you belong to that family, when somebody goes down, regardless of where they are at, you feel it, versus somebody on the street that you've never heard about that might have passed away in a car accident. It's different. For some reason, it just hits you here when it's somebody that, hey, they're like me. That could have been me, So it's just a sense of familyhood and brotherhood there.
Yeah. Wow. Vangela, by any chance did you get that message that I got that I sent you with a list?
Yes, I have those in front of me.
Let me see how are we doing. We're doing good on time and all that. So, let me just.
There are 234 from Texas alone.
Wow. Hold
Mhm.
on. I thought I had some other pictures here, but I want to share these pictures because a lot of times we don't. Well, this is what we see afterwards, the aftermath. We see the grave, but that also is, you go to Arlington Cemetery, and I think somebody was telling me that, there's, I don't know how many acres, but I think it's what, like 200 acres or something like that. If any of you know, but it's enormous. I mean, it's huge, and that's where our fallen are honored. And they go laid to rest there. But the thing is that the devastation of war uh, brings a lot of pain, and you see, on this particular days, and any other given day, you see families that are crying over the tombstone. You see kids, you see grown men, fellow soldiers that are there and they're crying, or you see this like at the wall in Washington D.C. where they come and show their respect, and you see a lot of that because it's I don't know, guys. I'm sure you've visited graves before of your perhaps some friends or family members or somebody that or stuff like that. And I'm sure you've seen other family members of like you look across and maybe out there's another family and they're like, you can feel the pain. You know what I mean? And it's that Hilda says it's 624 acres. Thank you, Hilda. I mean, that's a lot of land. That is a lot of land, and a lot of graves. And it's like, wow, it's just devastating. It's just wow. I have a friend that he was the only one that came back. He was the only one that came back, and he's all messed up. He's like, all of a sudden he starts talking, and all of a sudden, we've been talking about whatever, and all of a sudden he goes back and he starts talking about how he's how what he did and how he survived, and the even move blow by blow of how because he was in charge of like 7 or 8 guys, and he didn't bring him home. He says, I didn't bring him home, and man, he starts crying, because he was the only one to survive on that mission, and it's like it's hard to hear him talk like that, and I'm sure you have friends that that tell you stories like that, and you want to hear them because obviously that's how we learn about it, but it must be hard to hear those stories. Noah, do you can you share something like that with us?
Yes, sir. I can completely. It resonates with me once again with my grandfather because I was very young when my grandfather passed away. I was only about a year and a half old, and my mom used to tell me stories. Towards the end of his life, he started talking more and more about going to combat in World War II and the friends that sacrificed their lives for him. And he used to openly break down and cry, kind of like what you were saying earlier. Why me? Why was I the one that lived? That he would have given his life equal in return for them. And throughout my time in 3rd Battalion, 11th Marines, that was my old unit I was attached to. There were many combat veterans, many of my staff sergeants, gunnery sergeants who had been to combat in Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, all used to tell stories that would even get teary-eyed about a lot of their friends that had passed away and when they were over there. just many of the experiences or they saw and sacrifices that many Marines, soldiers, sailors made. Something that really resonates home because at the end of the day, I can't imagine not having one of my good close friends come back, let alone seeing anybody give that sacrifice. That really does.
Alfred, you have a story?
Yeah, so one of my closest family members that passed away. He was in Vietnam. He was a Marine in Vietnam with 1-9, and he was telling me his stories. He was crying about it as he was telling me, and he was speaking about his closest friend and how they was talking about what they was going to do when they get back home to the States. And how everything planned out, everything was going smooth, and then immediately they start taking contact. And then he said he stood up, he went for the charge, and he went down. The sacrifice that he took, and he said, "I'll never forget about the things that he did," and it constantly goes in my head today. And that one of the things that stuck with me the most when we spoke about different things in the military.
Yeah, you hear stories, hey man, when we get back, man, we're gonna cruise the boulevard, I'm gonna get on my Corvette and we're gonna go visit, the old girlfriends, the old gangs, we're gonna go eat at this place, wherever, let me take you there, we're gonna have fun, and that never happened. That never happened because they never came back. They never, and yeah, you're right. You hear that, but those stories, you hear them, you see it in the movies and all that, but to actually hear somebody telling you a story that's actual real, that's like, oh man, when I visit with my friend and he starts talking and it's like, man, you kind of, at first I felt like, man, I feel kind of weird, but then I kind of felt like, okay, I need to let him talk, but I need to soak it in because I need to soak his pain, because maybe that's the only way he can release some of that pain that he has deep inside. Because when you go to war and you come back, I mean, those that come back, they're still there. They're still there, and it's hard, and you see that and you feel that when you talk to them, and it's like, wow. Vangela, I know your husband. I'm sure he can tell you stories, and I'm sure you've heard stories because you've been around. The armed forces. Any stories?
I asked my husband if he would talk to me a little bit about, or if he has anybody that he's known that has, died in combat. And he said that thankfully nobody from his unit from that, they've died later on from suicide, PTSD, and so forth. But he did say that they were working with Czech soldiers from the Czech Republic, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And that one of them did die in combat, somebody that he knew, and so when you see that familiar, that face, and then you hear that it happens, it's just like, wow, and they're good guys, and to see somebody, even though they're not American military, but to see that they they too are on in combat, so
yeah, it must be hard. Well, let me show you two pictures, and then when I'll tell you. So let me go here. Again, today's show, ladies and gentlemen, is about the soldiers, the fallen soldiers. For those who gave all, we remember. We come together on Memorial Day to honor the men and women who gave their lives for our nation. And they walked towards the flag. They didn't come back. They walked towards the flag. So we remember them. Anyway, at this time, Noah, do you have any names you want to read out?
Yes, sir. I want to read out all the names. that gave their lives in Afghanistan last year for our.
Okay.
Marine Lance Corporal David L. Espinoza, Marine Sergeant Nicole L. Yee, Marine Staff Sergeant Darren T. Hoover, Army Staff Sergeant Ryan C. Noss, Marine Corporal Hunter Lopez, Marine Lance Corporal Riley J. McCullum, Marine Lance Corporal Dylan R. Marola, Marine Lance Corporal Kareem M. Nakui, Marine Sergeant Johanny Rosario Picardo, Marine Corporal Humberto A. Sanchez, Marine Corporal Jared M. Schmitz, Navy Corpsman Maxton W. Stoviak, and Marine Corporal Dagan W. Page. All heroes.
Alfred, do you have any names you want to read? Or?
No, sir. He read out the names.
Okay, cool. Vangela, go ahead and read.
Okay, there are quite a few. I was trying to find the ones that are local from here from the Valley. So we have Army Specialist Edward J. Anguiano. He was 24 of Brownsville. Mm-hmm. Going down to, we have, this is not the Valley, but we all know this name, unfortunately, right now. Army Specialist Travis A. Babbitt, 24 of Uvalde. Let's see. There's plenty here to read from, but I really want to honor the ones from the Valley. Marine Sergeant Juan Calderon Jr., 26 of Weslaco. And there's so many. And it's to have to scroll through so many names. Let's see. Army Staff Sergeant Omar D. Flores, 27 of Mission. We have plenty of people from the Valley serving. Army Specialist Thomas Garces, 19 of Weslaco. And let's see. Lots from the Dallas area and San Antonio area. I know I saw some more in here. Okay, this is Army Specialist James C. Kessinger, 32 of FAR. And if you look at the ages of these gentlemen and men and women that have served, they're all so young, so young. The majority of them are barely 20 years old. Okay, I'm just going to read off a few more because the ones from the Valley must be at the very bottom. So we have Army Private First Class James D. Parker, 20 of Bryan. Army Specialist Jose Perez III, 22 of San Diego. Marine Lance Corporal Stephen J. Perez, 22 of San Antonio. Marine Lance Corporal Luis W. Qualls, 20 of Temple. Here we go. Marine Lance Corporal Benito A. Ramirez, 21 of Edinburgh. Army Sergeant Christopher Ramirez, 34 of McAllen. Army Private First Class Wesley R. Riggs, 19 of Baytown. And let's see, there's so many more. Here we go. Marine Lance Corporal Dustin M. Sekula, 18 of Edinburgh. We're very proud of our men and women that serve, but so grateful for all of these that have, sacrificed their lives so that we could be here right now speaking. So that those who are actually out there enjoying right now a barbecue, it's because of these young men and women that are serving or that have served and gave their lives.
I have a couple of names that they sent me this year. For some reason, a lot of names were not sent in, and that's why we had to go to a national, roster. But I got some. My friend William Brutches lost his uncle in World War II. His name was Eliseo, and he was a decorated soldier. Here from Brownsville, Texas. Private First Class Vicelio Martinez. He was killed in action in Korea on April the 11th of 1951. and he was only 19 years old. Two brothers, two Longoria brothers from the valley, Juan and Guilleto. Tragedy, tragedy hit. Well, two brothers from the same household. It's like that's hard. Ross Bellor, he attended school in San Benito High School. He had a flight home, and right before he left, a new pilot had come in, and the pilot didn't know the landing locations, and so he figured he had time, and he went to show him the different landing locations. I guess they went into the air and they flew, and okay, there's one, and in one of those they got shot, and he never made it home. We have Army Sergeant Christopher Ramirez. He was 34. He was from McAllen, Texas. Ramirez died in I can't pronounce it, but he was injured and sustained combat. During combat operations, he died from that. He had been assigned to the 1st Battalion, 16th Infantry, 1st Brigadier, I think, and 1st Infantry Division at Fort Riley, Kansas. He died on April the 14th of 2004. And to all those unread names out there, we honor them as well. Yes, sir.
Sorry to interrupt, but there is one more name I want to mention. I'm not familiar with his first name. His name is Sergeant Baca. He actually was in the Marine Corps. He was also a police officer in San Bernardino County up until his death in Memorial Day of last year. It was actually on my property. He was trying to chase down someone who was trying to do a home invasion. And if it weren't for him, my home would have been invaded. It would have been a real disaster. And I really do remember him today as well. And from what I understand, and this is me directly to you, ma'am, his wife is watching. I do send my condolences. I'm super sorry that it happened. By all means, you guys do have my support as a family from human to human. Really, really am sorry. But just know that his sacrifice was not in vain. He did protect my family. So I really thank him. And thank you for
No. I want to try to play a video here, but I don't know, maybe, and I think we'll end the show with that. Any other comments, guys? No? Okay. So let me play this video, and we'll end this show with it, unless for some reason the video doesn't work. So here we go. We're gonna step out, but don't leave. And guys, we bid you good night. Again, this was the Memorial Day show. We honor all the fallen soldiers. I thank you, Sergeant Noah Wisdom, Alfred Smith, and Vangela. Thank you for joining our show. We had other guests that just couldn't make it. And again, remember why you have this 3-day weekend. It ain't for the parties, guys. It's to celebrate. It's to celebrate and honor our fallen heroes that are giving us and have given their lives for our freedom. And with that, we say good night. Thank you.
Thank you, Brad.
Thank you.